Imagine a vast, open land, stretching as far as the eye can see. This is the desert. It is a place painted in shades of gold, orange, and brown. During the day, the sun beats down with incredible power, making the air shimmer with heat. The ground can become so hot that you could almost cook an egg on it. There is very little rain here, sometimes for a whole year or even longer. This lack of water makes the desert one of the most difficult places on Earth for life to exist. It is a world of extremes, a landscape of breathtaking beauty and immense challenge, where every living thing must be a master of survival. The silence of the desert is something quite special. It is a deep, profound quiet, broken only by the whisper of the wind as it sculpts the sand into magnificent, ever-changing dunes. These giant waves of sand can move and reshape the landscape, creating a world that is never quite the same from one day to the next. But this world is not empty. It may seem so at first glance, but hidden within this seemingly barren expanse is a secret world of incredible creatures. Life here is patient, waiting for the right moment, for the cool of the evening or the rare, life-giving rain. The desert rewards those who look closely. This land of sun and sand is not all the same. Some deserts are rocky, with towering canyons and flat-topped mountains called mesas. Others are covered in small stones and gravel, stretching out like a great, flat plain. But what all deserts share is their dryness. The air holds very little moisture, and the sky is often a brilliant, cloudless blue. This lack of clouds means the sun's heat reaches the ground directly, but it also means that at night, all that heat escapes back into space, making the nights surprisingly cold. It is this constant swing between scorching heat and biting cold that defines the rhythm of life here. To us, a desert might seem like a desolate, empty place, a place to be crossed quickly, a challenge to endure. But for the creatures that call it home, it is a complete world, full of opportunity and danger. They have found remarkable ways to live with the heat, to find water where there seems to be none, and to find food in the most unlikely of places. The story of the desert is not one of emptiness, but one of incredible resilience and ingenuity. It is a story of life triumphing against the odds, a testament to the power of nature to adapt and thrive in even the harshest corners of our planet. Life in the desert is a constant battle against two great forces, the intense heat of the day and the desperate lack of water. Every single plant and animal that lives here has a special set of tools, a secret rule book for survival that has been passed down through countless generations. It is a world where nothing is wasted. A single drop of morning dew, a tiny seed buried in the sand, or the shade of a small rock can mean the difference between life and death. The animals here are not just living in the desert, they are a part of it shaped by its challenges and perfectly suited to its demands. The sun is the ultimate ruler of the desert. Its powerful rays dictate the daily lives of all its inhabitants. Most animals have learned a simple but effective rule: avoid the midday sun at all costs. When the sun is at its highest and the heat is at its most ferocious, the desert appears deserted. But this is an illusion. Life has simply gone into hiding. Below the surface of the sand, in cool burrows, or deep within the shade of a rocky crevice, a hidden world is waiting. These creatures are masters of patience, conserving their energy and their precious water until the worst of the heat has passed. Water is the most precious treasure in this dry land. Finding it is the single most important task for any desert animal. Some animals can get all the water they need from the food they eat, like seeds, leaves, or other animals. Others have developed incredible ways to find and store water. They might travel for many miles to a known waterhole, or have bodies that can absorb every last drop of moisture from the air or the ground. For these creatures, water is not just a drink. It is life itself, and their entire existence revolves around the endless search for it. The challenges do not end when the sun goes down. As the heat radiates away from the sand, the temperature can drop dramatically, sometimes becoming freezing cold. So a desert animal must be able to cope with being very hot and then, just a few hours later, very cold. This requires a different set of survival skills. Thick fur that insulates against the cold, or behaviors like huddling together for warmth, become just as important as finding shade during the day. Surviving in the desert means being prepared for anything, a true master of adapting to a world of constant change and extreme conditions. For thousands of years, one animal has become the ultimate symbol of desert survival: the camel. These magnificent creatures are perfectly designed for a life in the world's driest places. Their most famous feature, the hump, is often thought to be a store for water, but it is actually a large mound of fat. This fat is a vital energy reserve. When food is scarce, the camel's body can convert this fat into the energy it needs to keep going, allowing it to travel for days or even weeks with very little to eat. As the fat is used up, the hump becomes smaller and can even flop over to one side. The camel's relationship with water is truly extraordinary. It can drink a huge amount of water very quickly, as much as a bathtub full in just 10 minutes, to rehydrate after a long journey. But even more impressive is how it conserves that water. A camel hardly sweats, even in the blistering heat. Its body temperature can rise by several degrees without causing it any harm, which helps it to avoid losing precious moisture through perspiration. Even the camel's breath is designed to save water. Its complex nasal passages cool the air it breathes out, capturing the moisture before it escapes into the dry desert air. Every part of the camel seems to have a special purpose for desert life. It has 2 rows of long, thick eyelashes to keep blowing sand out of its eyes. It can even close its nostrils to stop sand from getting in during a sandstorm. Its feet are wide and leathery, spreading out like snowshoes to stop it from sinking into the soft sand. These special feet allow it to walk gracefully and silently across the dunes, earning it the famous title, the Ship of the Desert. It carries its precious cargo of life across a sea of sand. Even its diet is a masterclass in adaptation. A camel's mouth is incredibly tough, with a thick, leathery lining that allows it to eat thorny desert plants that other animals cannot touch. These prickly plants often contain a surprising amount of moisture, making them both a meal and a drink for the camel. It can find nourishment where others would find only pain and difficulty. From its head to its toes, the camel is a living example of how nature can create the perfect solution for even the most extreme environments, a true survivor in a world of sand and sun. As the scorching sun finally sets and a cool darkness falls over the desert, a new cast of characters emerges. Among them is a creature of remarkable charm and cleverness, the fennec fox. This is the smallest fox in the world, no bigger than a kitten. But what it lacks in size, it makes up for with its most distinctive feature, its enormous ears. These ears are not just for show. They are a brilliant piece of natural engineering. They act like giant radiators, with many blood vessels close to the surface of the skin. As blood flows through them, the heat escapes into the cooler night air, helping the fennec fox to regulate its body temperature. These incredible ears have another vital purpose. They give the fennec fox an extraordinary sense of hearing. In the quiet of the desert night, it can hear the faintest sounds. It can detect the tiny footsteps of an insect, a lizard, or a mouse moving under the sand. Once it pinpoints the location of its prey, it will leap into the air and pounce, digging furiously with its front paws to uncover its hidden meal. This superb hearing allows it to hunt successfully in the dark, finding food that would be completely invisible to other predators. It turns the silent desert into a landscape full of sound and opportunity. To survive the punishing heat of the day, the fennec fox is a master digger. It uses its strong claws to excavate an intricate network of burrows deep in the sand. These dens can be surprisingly large and complex, with multiple entrances and chambers, providing a safe and cool refuge from the sun. Here, a whole family of fennec foxes can rest together, conserving their energy and water until the cool of the evening arrives. The sand acts as a perfect insulator, keeping the burrow at a stable, comfortable temperature, no matter how hot it gets on the surface. Like many desert animals, the fennec fox is incredibly resourceful when it comes to water. It gets most of the moisture it needs from the food it eats. Insects, small reptiles, and birds are all on its menu. It will also eat roots and berries when it can find them, which provide another valuable source of water. Its kidneys are also specially adapted to conserve water, producing very concentrated urine. With its giant ears for cooling, its super-sensitive hearing for hunting, and its burrowing lifestyle, the fennec fox is perfectly equipped for life in the desert, a tiny but triumphant survivor of the sand seas. Deep in the deserts of Australia lives one of the most peculiar and fascinating reptiles on the planet, the thorny devil. Its appearance is honestly startling. The entire body is covered in an armor of conical spines, making it look like a miniature dragon. This spiky exterior is not just for decoration. It is a formidable defense. Any predator thinking of making a meal of the thorny devil would be in for a very painful surprise. This impressive armor allows the lizard to move slowly and confidently across the open sand, searching for its favorite food without having to worry too much about being eaten itself. But the most incredible thing about the thorny devil's skin is not the spikes, but what lies between them. The skin is covered in a complex network of microscopic grooves or channels. When the lizard finds any moisture, be it morning dew, a rare puddle after a rain shower, or even just damp sand, these grooves act like tiny straws. Through a process called capillary action, the water is drawn along these channels, all over the lizard's body, and is funneled directly towards the corners of its mouth. The thorny devil doesn't need to find a puddle to drink from. It can simply absorb water through its skin and feet. This unique ability makes the thorny devil a true master of water collection. During the cool desert nights, dew often condenses on its spiky body. As the sun rises, this moisture is channeled straight to its mouth for a morning drink. It is, in effect, a living, walking sponge. This adaptation is crucial in a place where standing water is almost non-existent. The thorny devil has found a way to harvest moisture directly from the air and the ground, a skill that gives it a huge advantage in the struggle for survival in the arid Australian outback. It is a perfect example of nature's ingenuity. The thorny devil's diet is very specific. It feeds almost exclusively on a particular type of small black ant. It will find a trail of these ants and then sit patiently, flicking them up with its short, sticky tongue. It can eat thousands of ants in a single meal. This may seem like a lot of work for a small meal, but these ants provide all the nourishment and much of the water the lizard needs. With its spiky armor for protection, its specialized skin for drinking, and its patient hunting technique, the thorny devil is a marvel of evolution, perfectly sculpted by the harsh demands of its desert home. In the desert, the search for food and water is a full-time job. It is the central drama that shapes the lives of all its creatures. Because plants are scarce, many animals have become opportunistic eaters. This means they will eat whatever they can find. A desert fox, for example, might eat insects one day, a lizard the next, and scavenge for anything left behind by a larger predator on another. This flexibility is key. Animals cannot afford to be picky eaters when the next meal is never guaranteed. They must take every opportunity that comes their way in this challenging environment. Finding water is an even greater challenge. Some larger animals, like the desert elephant or the oryx, might have to travel enormous distances, sometimes for days, to reach a known waterhole. They often have incredible memories, remembering the locations of these life-saving oases across vast, featureless landscapes. For smaller creatures, such a long journey would be impossible. Instead, they have found clever ways to get water from their food. The kangaroo rat, for instance, never needs to drink water at all. It gets all the moisture it needs from the dry seeds it eats, through a remarkable metabolic process in its body. Many desert plants have also become a source of both food and water. Cacti, for example, store large amounts of water in their fleshy stems, protecting it with sharp spines. But some animals have learned how to get past these defenses. The javelina, or peccary, works with its family group to tear open a cactus and eat the moist pulp inside. Other animals patiently wait for the cactus to produce fruit, which is often soft, sweet, and full of liquid. These plants are like living canteens, providing a vital resource for those clever or strong enough to access them. The desert is also a world of hunters and the hunted. Predators like the sidewinder snake have developed unique ways to catch their prey. The sidewinder buries itself in the sand with only its eyes showing, waiting patiently for a small lizard or mouse to pass by. It then strikes with lightning speed. This method of ambush hunting saves precious energy, which is vital in a world where calories are hard to come by. Every animal, whether it is a hunter or a plant eater, must use a combination of skill, patience, and ingenuity to solve the daily puzzle of finding enough to eat and drink. When the desert sun climbs to its peak, the heat becomes a powerful and dangerous force. The surface of the sand can become hot enough to cause serious burns, and the air temperature can soar to unbearable levels. For desert animals, finding a way to escape this intense heat is not a matter of comfort, but of survival. The most common and effective strategy is simply to disappear. The vast majority of desert animals are crepuscular, meaning they are most active during the cooler hours of dawn and dusk, or nocturnal, active only at night. During the day, they rest in a cooler, safer place. The ultimate escape from the sun is to go underground. A burrow, just a foot or two beneath the surface, can be significantly cooler than the air above. Animals like the desert tortoise, the kangaroo rat, and the fennec fox are expert excavators. They dig extensive burrows that provide a stable, cool, and even slightly humid environment. This allows them to wait out the hottest part of the day in relative comfort, conserving both energy and, crucially, water. The sand itself becomes a protective blanket, shielding them from the relentless sun. For these creatures, home is a cool, dark sanctuary beneath the scorching earth. For animals that must be out during the day, other strategies are needed. Many have pale, light-colored fur or skin. Just as wearing a white shirt keeps you cooler than a black one, a light-colored coat reflects more of the sun's heat, helping the animal to avoid overheating. The addax antelope of the Sahara has a coat that is almost pure white in the summer for this very reason. Some lizards can even change the color of their skin, becoming lighter when the temperature rises to reflect more sunlight. It is a simple but highly effective form of natural air conditioning. Behavior also plays a crucial role. Animals will seek out even the smallest patch of shade, whether it is from a rock, a small bush, or a towering cactus. Vultures and other large birds will soar high up in the sky where the air is cooler, riding thermal currents to save energy. Ground squirrels in the American deserts will flatten their bodies against the cool earth in their shady burrows to lose heat. Every action, from the time of day they are active to the color of their skin, is part of a complex and beautiful dance of survival, a constant effort to outwit the desert sun. As the sun disappears below the horizon, the desert undergoes a dramatic transformation. Without the blanket of clouds to trap the warmth, the heat stored in the sand and rocks radiates quickly back into the vast, clear sky. The temperature can plummet, falling by many to survive the nightly chill. It is another testament to their incredible ability to adapt to a world of constant and extreme change. Deserts may seem like tough, resilient landscapes, but their ecosystems are incredibly fragile. The plants and animals that live here are so perfectly adapted that even small changes can have a huge impact. The balance of life is delicate. Because there is so little water and food, the chains of life are short and easily broken. The loss of a single type of plant could lead to the disappearance of the insects that feed on it, which in turn could affect the lizards and birds that eat those insects. In this interconnected world, every species plays a vital role. Human activities are putting increasing pressure on these fragile kingdoms. The growth of cities, the creation of farms in arid lands, and the building of roads can divide habitats, making it impossible for animals to travel their traditional routes. Pollution from industry and vehicles can contaminate the scarce water sources that so many animals depend on. Even tourism, if not managed carefully, can disturb sensitive breeding grounds and cause animals to abandon their homes. What seems like a small change to us can be a catastrophe for the creatures finely tuned to desert life. It is easy to think of deserts as wastelands, but they are unique and precious habitats, teeming with extraordinary life. They are home to some of the most specialized and remarkable creatures on Earth, animals that have mastered the art of survival against all odds. The fennec fox, the thorny devil, the camel, each one tells a story of evolutionary genius. By protecting deserts, we are not just protecting sand and rock, we are protecting these incredible stories. We are preserving a library of natural solutions to some of life's greatest challenges. Protecting these animals and their homes is a responsibility we all share. We can support conservation organizations that work to create protected areas and wildlife corridors. We can be mindful of our own impact, conserving water and reducing pollution. By learning about these amazing survivors and understanding the challenges they face, we can begin to appreciate the true value of our planet's deserts. They are not empty spaces, but vibrant, fragile worlds that deserve our respect and protection. The silent, starlit desert holds some of our planet's greatest treasures, and it is up to us to ensure they survive for generations to come.